Hi, my name is Lena, and today I want to tell a story that changed my life, a story that made me lose the most precious person to me. I never thought that one careless phrase spoken in a casual conversation could destroy everything. But now I am left to live with this realization. I hope that my story will help someone avoid making the same mistake. It all started on an ordinary day. My sister came to visit me. We brewed coffee, sat in the kitchen, and talked about life, reminiscing about the past, laughing. It was a normal conversation, the kind that happens between close people. I didn't even think that someone else might hear us. My husband was home, but I thought he was in another room busy with his own thing, so I spoke freely without considering the consequences. The conversation turned to our relationships with our husbands. We remembered what they were like when we first met them, what our relationships were like in the beginning. I said that my husband used to be so spontaneous, so cheerful, always smiling, full of hopes and plans. He was the kind of guy who could suddenly take me to watch the stars in the middle of the night. He was the one who always came up with something unusual, surprising me. But over time, he changed, became more serious, more withdrawn. He started worrying about work, household issues, bills, loans, problems. He became different. And then I said that very phrase. I said that if we had met now, I probably wouldn't have dated him. I even chuckled, saying that he was a completely different person back then. It was just an observation, just thoughts spoken out loud. I didn't mean anything bad by it. I wasn't trying to compare or belittle him. But those words turned out to be the last ones he heard from me that day. I didn't know he was standing behind the door and heard everything. I didn't even notice when the living room door opened and he walked in. His face was blank, but his eyes showed pain. He didn't say a word, just looked at me, turned around, and left. At first, I didn't understand what had happened. My sister stared at me in shock. The kitchen fell silent, and then I heard the front door slam and the sound of his footsteps quickly fading down the stairs. I rushed to the door, ran outside, but he had already gotten into his car. I shouted, called his name, but he didn't even look at me, started the engine, and drove away. I stood in the middle of the yard, completely confused, not understanding how this had even happened. Just a minute ago, we were simply talking, and now my husband had left in an unknown direction. I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. I texted him, but my messages remained unread. The night passed in anxiety and anticipation, but he never came back. The next morning, I found a note on the kitchen table. It was short, just a few words. If you think I'm not good enough for you, then why are we even together? I reread those words over and over again, feeling my heart tighten. He understood my words completely differently from how I meant them, but it was already too late. I tried to find him, but he avoided me. A few days later, I found out that he had gone to stay with a friend in another city. I begged him to talk to me, to explain, but he responded briefly, coldly. His voice was distant, something I had never heard from him before. I thought that over time he would calm down, that we could talk. But a week later, he sent me a message saying that he no longer wanted to be where he wasn't appreciated, that he was tired of feeling like he wasn't good enough. That was the last message from him. I couldn't believe that just one phrase had destroyed so many years of our relationship. I never thought that words could cause so much pain. Now I live with this realization. Every day I replay that conversation in my head, and every morning I wake up with the thought that if I could turn back time, I would never have said those words. But time cannot be reversed, and the person who loved me more than anything is gone from my life forever.